Alright, so here's chapter 5.3 to 5.5. It says determine the linear equation, which we did already, but we're going to do it a little bit more algebraically now than before. And we're going to talk about, slopes of line segments, and we're going to also do the equation of lines. Okay. So first thing first, let's just practice calculating the slope between each point. So let's calculate the slope between A there. Okay. So remember the slope formula is what? M equals what? Delta y over delta x. Again, if you're having trouble, put them on top of each other. Okay, put them on top of each other and circle them so that you don't make a mistake of what goes together. So these are your what? Y's. These are your x's. So all of these should go on top, divided by all of those. Okay, so you got m equals negative 5 minus 4 divided by 2 minus what? Negative 3, right? So you have to be careful there. And what do you get on top? Negative 9 divided by 5. Yes? And that's the end. You cannot reduce this anymore, so just leave it like that. Okay. Alright, why don't you try B on your own? So, what is the slope between negative 4, 6 and 1 and negative 4? Alright, so let's try this question here, and we get m equals negative 6 minus negative 4 over negative 4 minus what? 1. The top is going to be what? Negative 2 over, here is negative 5. I simplify that to what? 2 over 5, and then you're done. Okay? Alright. Negative divided by negative is positive. Okay. Now let's take a look at example 2. And it says determine the missing value. So I have 2 points, A and B. But B doesn't have a full Y value there. The Y coordinate is missing. Okay. But I do tell you the slope between A and B. Now think about it. This, I've given you the what? The slope already. So guess what formula you should use? Hello? What formula should you use? You're going to use the what formula? The slope formula. Okay? Now think about it. I give you information. And what did I say? If you are given information, what should you do with it? Plug it in. Okay, so it's the same thing here. You think about it here. I am given the slope, meaning that I probably should use the what? Slope formula. Delta y over delta x. Now, what I need to do now is, I gave you information already. What do you do with that information? You plug it in. So, what should I write here? What should I write instead of m? What should I write instead of m? 2 over 3. Does that make sense? Hello?
Yeah.
This is m, yes? This is m right here. So instead of m here, what I can write is 2 over 3. Okay. Now, that is equal to, okay, what is the slope of? That's the slope of what? These two here. So how would I write that out? What would I write on this side? Plug everything in. What would I write? Negative what? 2 minus what? Minus k. Do you understand? If I subtract the y values, I should get what? 2. On the bottom, what do I get? I get 3 minus 12. Is everyone okay with that? Mm-hmm. This is the slope formula. I'm given information about the slope, so all I do is just plug everything in I know. Okay, now that I did that, look, I only end up with what? One single letter. If an equation has one single letter, you can always do what with it? You can always do what with that single letter? Isolate it, right? You can isolate that letter to actually get the value of that letter. Does that make sense? So I'm going to isolate this. I'm going to solve for k here. And then that's what I want. Yeah, I want to know what the value of k is. Now, remember when I said when you're doing fractions like this, what can you actually do? You can? What can you do? Cross multiply, right? Yeah, so let's cross multiply here. But before I do cross multiply here, before I cross multiply, let's simplify some of the stuff. So it's 2 over 3 is equal to negative 2 minus k over what? What can I simplify this to?
1.
Negative 9. Now, I mean, some of you can probably do it in your head, right? Because you can kind of guess of what it's supposed to be by looking at it. So you could do it that way where you can guess, okay, this to get to 9 has to be what? Multiply by negative 3, right? So negative 3 times 2 is what? Negative 6. So that top thing should equal to what? Negative 6. Do you understand that way?
Wow.
If you do, go ahead. If not, let's cross multiply. So how do you cross multiply? You just cross it. So this times this, this times this. So you get 3 times negative 2 minus k is equal to. Okay? So it's 3 times this whole top is equal to this bottom times this top, or whichever way you want. Okay, so this is 2 times negative 9. Does everyone understand what I just did? Okay, when you cross multiply, if you have A over B equals C over D, you just multiply them together and they equal to each other. So AD is equal to BC. That's what you do when you cross multiply. Okay? So this is what I did here. You got it? Now, do you know how to solve that? Yeah, I hope so. Yes, I hope you can solve that by now. Okay? So this is what? 3 times negative 2 minus k is equal to, I can simplify this to be what? Negative what? 18. Now, I can solve this 2 ways. I can what? Divide everything by what? 3, or what can I do? Or I can multiply 3 in, right? So 2 ways to do that. But dividing by 3 in this case will be easier. So that's what I can do. I can divide everything by 3. Because if I divide by 3, I get rid of the bracket. Yes, the brackets are gone now. Is everyone okay so far? Okay, now what do you do? Bring the negative 2 over. Yes. So you get negative k is equal to negative 6 plus 2. And let's finish it up. Negative k equals to what? Negative 4. Now this is negative k equals negative 4. So what is positive k equal to?
4.
Equals to 4. Okay. Again, when you do this, you can think about this many different ways. You can just think about what? Flipping the signs. You see this negative? I just flipped it to be what? Positive, and this flip to what? To positive. Okay? Alright. Or I could do negative k equals -4, and I can divide both by -1. If I do that, I get positive k, and then positive 4. Okay, so different ways to think about getting rid of that negative in front of the variable. Okay, why don't you try b on your own? Okay, so try this method that I just showed you, and try b. Try b. Okay, so again, you notice that it gives you the slope, so you do want to probably start with the slope formula, and then you plug everything you need to know. So you got -3/2, that's the slope, and then you have this, which is 8 minus k over -2 minus 6. Okay, so let's do that. -3/2 equals to 8 minus k. Simplify the bottom one to be negative what? -8. And now I have to cross multiply. And you have to be careful where you take that negative, but you do take it to one of them, right? You either attach that negative to the 3 or the 2. So I'm going to attach it to the 3, so I get what? -3 times -8 is equal to 2 times 8 minus k. I put the 8 minus k on the other side last time, didn't I? Oh well, doesn't really matter. Here you get what? 24 is equal to 2, 8 minus k. Okay. Divide both sides by 2. So you get, let me continue here, 12 is equal to 8 minus k. Take the 8 to the other side, so you get 12 minus 8 is equal to what? -k. And this, you get what? 4 is equal to -k.
Yay!
Exact though. So k must equal to what then?
4.
K must equal to -4. Remember, you flip the signs. -k becomes what? Positive, and then that number becomes negative. You understand? Alright, let's continue. I'm not going to say much for the next part here, other than it says determine if the points are collinear. Collinear means are they on a straight line? Okay. So how could you tell if these 3 points are on the same line? How would you be able to tell? By looking for their what? Looking at their what?
Oh.
If they're on the same line, what can you do? You can look for their slope, right? Because if they have the same slope, that means that they must be what? On the same line there. Okay, watch here. So all you need to do for this question is find the slope of this one. So M1, let's say. And I just find the slope of this one, which it will be M2. Now, listen, if they have the same slope, if between here to there I have one slope, and between there to there I have the same exact slope, what does that mean? That they must be what? Collinear, or they must be on the same line. So let me just write that here. So if M1 is equal to M2, then they are collinear. And that's all I'm going to say for that question. All you need to do is find the slopes of those two, and then see if they're the same. If they're the same, they must be collinear. Chapter 5.4, 5.5, determine the equation of a line. Now let me tell you something about parallel lines or perpendicular lines, okay? Now parallel lines never what?
They never cross.
They never meet, right? So if I were to give you an example of parallel lines, they may look like this, right? Where they're not going to meet. Now, let's say this top line has slope of m1. Okay, slope m1. Let's say this bottom line has slope of m2. What can you tell me about m1 and m2 in parallel lines? They are what? What can I say about m1 and m2 if these lines are parallel? They are what? They're the same, right? Think about it. Think about what slope is. I talked about the slope yesterday. It's how steep a line is, right? How steep are these two lines? Compared them together, they're the exact same, right? So that means that their slope must be what? The same. So parallel lines have same slopes, okay? So m1 is equal to m2. So if you have parallel lines, their slopes must be the same. Okay, now, let's go to perpendicular lines then. Now, perpendicular lines meet each other at what? You know?
A T.
A T, yes. So that means that perpendicular lines will look like this. They meet at like a T here, meaning that this must be what? 90 degrees. Okay, so this is a 90 degree right there. So they meet at 90 degrees. Is that okay? Alright, let's say that this one is m1. So that's slope 1. And the slope is A divided by B. So let's say that slope of this one here, m1, is A over B. If the two lines are perpendicular, that means that this line here, this line, guess what the slope of that line is? It's negative, yes? Yeah. You see that one is positive? This one must be what? Negative. However, do they look like they have the same steepness?
No.
Not really, right? Yeah, this one maybe it's hard to tell, but let's say I have lines like this. Okay? Now, do they have the same steepness? No, right? So it cannot be A over B. Is actually what? Yeah, it's B over A. Okay, they flip. So what we can say about M1 and M2 is that M1 and M2 are, one's positive, one's what? Negative. So one's negative, reciprocal, right? The flipping, reciprocal. The slopes are going to be what? Negative reciprocal of each other. Is that okay? Alright. Alright, so the usual form of the equation of a line that I'm looking for is y equals mx plus b. Unless it's going to be a vertical, okay, or horizontal line. So this is what I'm looking for, y equals mx plus b. And so if I know, the only thing that I really need to do is find the what? Find the what? M value and find the B value, right? So that's what I need to do. So those are really going to be your steps. Find M, and then second step is just find B. And that's really what you have to do. Now, for part A, find them. Where are they?
Right there.
It's right here, right? This is M. This is what? B. Okay, so that's all you have to write. Y equals what? 2 over 3, what?
X.
X. Don't forget the X, okay? Minus what? 4. And you're done. Easy?
Yeah. And then
This line, if I draw in Decimus, we'll have a slope of 2 over 3, and we'll go through negative 4 on the y-intercept. Okay, now let's go to the next one. Step 1, find m. Do I know the m? Oh yeah, it's right there. I just found it. M. Find b. I don't see it. Okay, so that's the problem. I don't see b now. So, however, what did I say? Once you know the value of something, what do you do with it? Plug it in. So what am I going to write? Y equals what? Y equals what?
2 over 3.
2 over 3, what? X.
No.
What else? What else? Plus B. Okay? And I heard Jordan say what? You do have an X, right? Yeah, I do have an X. I do have a what? Y. Here, right here. You see, you do have a what? X. And you do have a Y. Okay, so you do have an X. You do have a Y. That is what? On this line. Okay, so what you have to do to find B, okay, to find B, what you have to do is sub in a point. Sub a point on the line. Okay? Sub a point on the line and isolate what? B. And then you find your B value. Is that okay? Alright. So what I'm going to do here is, look, the question said it has a slope of this and passes through that point. So that means that this point has to be on this line. So if I plug it in, left side should equal what? Right side. Okay. So I'm going to sub in the point, which is negative 6 and 2. Is that okay? So what do I write now? What do I write? What do I write? What did I say? If you have the values of what? The variables, what do you do with it? Plug it in. So what do I write? 2 equals what? 2 over 3 times what? Negative 6 plus b. Don't forget the plus b. You have to write everything, right? You write everything, but you replace whatever you know with something else. You understand? Is that clear? Now isolate b. Excuse me. Negative 3 divided negative 6 divided by 3 is what? Negative 2. And so what do you get on that side here? Two is equal to what? Negative what? Negative 4 plus b. Is everyone okay with that? But remember, you can do it multiple ways. Negative 6 divided by 3 is negative 2. Negative 2 times 2 is negative 4. You can also do it the other way. 2 times what? 2 times negative 6 gives you negative 12. Negative 12 divided by 3 is negative 4. Okay? Well, it doesn't really matter which way. I usually like to do it this way. What do? Push the negative 4 over to the other side becomes a positive. So you get what? 2 plus 4 is equal to what? B. So B is equal to what? 6.
Wow.
Negative 2. No, look here. 2 plus 4 is what? 2 plus 4 is what? 6, right? 6 is equal to what? B. So B must equal to what? 6. Right? You can read it. I just wrote it the other way, but I'm just... You understand?
Yeah.
If you switch everything one side with everything on the other side, nothing changes. Okay? Just keep it the same. Did you understand what I just said?
Yes.
Notice how I wrote it b equals 6, usually because I like the variable on that side. Okay? But you just have to think about what this is. It's 6. 6 equals b. switch it. Means b equals 6. So, okay, then therefore, y equals what? What is y equal to then? What is y equal to? 2 over what? 3 x plus 6. Is that okay?
Yeah.
So this line, if I draw it in Desmos, is going to have a slope of what? 2 over 3 and go right through what? Negative 6, 2. Is that okay?
Yes. This is so amazingly boring.
Say it louder so he's recorded. And... Okay, listen up. Okay. Understand now, okay, that you really need to do 2 things. Step 1 is to what? Find the m, find the slope. Step 2 is to find the b by plugging in a point. And then you write it down. Okay, try C then. Try C. Remember, step 1 is find m. So I'm going to find m. So m equals delta y over delta x. Okay, so that is equal to negative 8 minus negative 7. Sorry, minus 7. And negative 10 minus 15. That gives you negative 15 over negative 25. Reduce that, and what do you get? 3 over 5. Is everyone okay with the m? Did everyone get m? Okay, now you have to find b. And then you do y equals what? What do you write? Y equals 3 over 5x plus b. And now what do you sub in? A point. Which point did you guys sub in? 7. This one?
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
So sub in b. Doesn't really matter. Remember, both are on the line, so both will be okay. You get 7 is equal to 3 over 5 times what? 15 plus b. 15 divided by 5 is 3. 3 times 3 is 9. So 7 equals to 9 plus b. Take over the 9 to the other side, it becomes a negative. So 7 minus 9 is equal to b. So b has to equal to what? Negative
2.
Okay. So therefore, y is equal to what? 3 over 5x minus 2. Okay, that's the answer right there. It's good? Shh. Let me make a quick sketch here and then try to understand what we're trying to look for. Okay, here we go. You ready? This one starts at what? Negative 2. So it starts at negative 2. And what kind of slope does it have?
A sloping slope.
What kind of slope? Negative. A negative. So it's going to go down. So this is going to go down like this. Now it says that's one of the lines, and that's the equation of that line. But then it says I want another line that passes through this point, which is 6 and negative 4. Oh, that's pretty close to this. But that's okay. Let's just say somewhere around here. Wait. So it's going to be 6, okay? And what? And negative 4. So 6 and negative 4 is somewhere on here. So what I want is a line that's what? Parallel to the red one. So it's parallel to the red one, okay? But passes through, that doesn't look quite parallel, but, and then passes through that point. Okay. Alright. Step Step 1, find your B. What is your B of the blue line? What's the B of the blue line? What is the slope of the blue line?
It's the same as the red.
Yeah, it's the same as the red one, right? So, y is equal to what? Y equals what? Negative what? 3 over 2 x. Now, do you know your b?
Well, yeah. That line looks
No. Yeah, I know. But do you know your b?
There is
No, look. Hello? The b for this one is negative 2. But for this one, what is the b? I don't know. So what should I write here?
The B
Plus b. Now all you need to do is find b. How do you find b? Sub in a point. Okay, sub in the point and find b, please. Alright, so all you need to do to find b is plug in your point. So this is negative 4 is equal to negative 3 over 2 times 6. Okay. So 6 over 2 is what? 3. Negative 4 is equal to negative 9 plus b. Move the negative 9 over to the other side, so you get negative 4 plus 9 equals to b. 5 is equal to b. So y is equal to negative 3 over 2 x plus 5. Okay, let's do the last question here. Okay, stop complaining. Okay, so these two lines need to be perpendicular. So here we go, negative 2 and negative slope. So there's the first line. The other line passes through negative 6 and negative 7. So somewhere over here. And it is perpendicular to that red line. So, listen. The slope of this one is what? Negative 3 over 2. And so if this is the slope of the blue line, if that's negative, this should be what? Positive, right? You have a positive slope. So the slope of this one should be positive. And again, you have to take the reciprocal of that, so it's 2 over 3. Okay? So y is equal to what? 2 over 3 x plus what? Plus b, right? Because you don't know the b value. You have to find out. Alright, just get b, you have to sub in the points. So negative 7 is equal to 2 over 3 negative 6 plus b. Negative 6 divided by 3 is negative 2. So then you get negative 7 equals to negative 4 plus b. Push the negative 4 to the side, so it's negative 7 plus 4 is equal to b. So b is equal to what? Negative 3. So y is equal to 2 over 3 x minus 3.